Hold on tight for the next hour. You're entering into a place, a zone called the alternative to the alternative media. It's a place, a special place where even truth seekers fear to tread.
All right, people, let's move like we've got a purpose.
Affirmative.
Okay, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, people of all races, colors, and creeds, welcome back to the greatest show on earth. Greg Anthony here. It's the greatest show on earth because it is better than believing in all those Mother Mary apparitions you've seen. Apparitions, whatever it is. But how many people in the world have believed in that stuff? You know, I'm looking out in a tree and she's here going, Greg, don't worry, if you get the COVID virus, I will perform a miracle. She's in the tree right now. God, it's better. It's really much better than even getting your confession online to a Jesuit whose first question is, after you say, bless me, Father, for I have sinned, he goes, how much money does your family have, by the way? Greg Anthony here, First Amendment Radio. Don't forget, go to my show every Friday. Yes, on crntalk.com. It's a national show, yeah, and it comes right in there after a couple of these Fox broadcasters. It's interesting. Well, don't Americans deserve to know the truth? Well, what is the truth? I've said it many times. I don't know. But the truth really is stranger than fiction. If you listen to Dr. Death Fauci. Hey, by the way, I've been trying to make Jesuit connections for years, yes, and they finally pulled me away. But anyway, truth is stranger than fiction, folks, because it is fiction is obliged, folks, to stick to possibilities. You know, when you write a fiction story like I did when I first started this coronavirus segment of my show, I didn't want to do this 3 months ago. I was perfectly happy looking into all the genocides and all of the problems the Jesuits caused throughout their 500-600-year history. I was pretty content, happy. But look what they did. They finally are tired of it all. It is a changed world within a matter of me snapping my fingers. But you know, the truth is not obliged to stick to any possibilities. Listen to a couple of these crazy things, and I'm going to give you two of them. And then I want to kind of set the stage of where I'm at. Because I know if you're like me, during this time of need, this time of dreaded coronavirus, if you walk outside, folks, let me tell you something. If you stay in the house too long and you go outside, your immune system and all the boys or girls inside, depending on what sex you are, of course. I've got boys fighting these germs off. And they're waking up every day going, get your butt outside, Mr. Szymanski. They know my real name. I say Greg Anthony, that's my middle name, and I only do that to confuse the Jesuits. Really, Greg? That's real good. They don't know who you are. Well, anyway, so, you know, if you stay in too long, your boys inside of you go to sleep. They don't know how to fight anymore. You know, they're constantly battling things when you go outside, you know. There's all these things, and my boys have been pretty good fighting these enemies from these invisible enemies, as Trump said, you know. But if you sit at home for a while, they're going to go to sleep. You're going to go outside, you're going to get the sniffles, and they're going to put you away, you know, away for a very long time. But let me give you a few crazy things that are going on, because this world is crazy. And I've had a lot of time on my hands in the last 48 hours. I want to give you a little teaser. Yes, a little teaser. I flew on a private jet. Yes, just the other day. You're saying, how? There's no traveling. Well, that's not true. I've been checking out on these rich people, and they're all over the place. They're sneaking to their private locations, right? They get their air, you know, all these actors and all these rich people, Bill Gates, they're flying around in their jets. And we don't know about it. That's okay. What about all the government officials? They're working, getting paid. I think, you know, they should just go home. Forget about it. The military, what are you doing? There's no war. There's nothing going on. Everybody's at home. And guess what? And everybody is at home. And the military's out surveilling to make sure you're at home. But, you know, like I said, ISIS, all the terrorists, they're afraid to go outside. And the cartels, well, you know them. They've got to keep the drug flow going. So they're allowed to cross the border, even though the borders are closed. They're allowed to fly. That's what I think I flew on one of their jets. But see, they leave a loophole for them because they know this is all a reality show. Yeah, they've created the biggest reality show in the history of the world. Let me give you a couple things going on here. The other day, I was privy to a story. A guy was walking down the street, and a pig fell from a rooftop, 300 pounds, killed him. He immediately was taken to the hospital, pronounced dead, and it was, guess what, coronavirus. Then, of course, I received a quite interesting email while I'm holed up here in this little hotel. It's like, you know, I'm still here. I was supposed to be taken out yesterday, but it's the same thing over and over. And, you know, I can't turn on the TV because all they got here is the state-run TV, Fox, CNN. I can't take it more than 10 seconds. So anyway, another little cute thing going on is apparently this COVID virus is so serious that this guy died twice. And they must have made a mistake with the crisis actors. I'm going to have to come to their rescue. The director of this show, this reality show, is a Jesuit priest named Dr. Luigi Franconi. Luigi, you hired this crisis actor and he was dead twice. Well, it's true. It's in the newspapers. In Milwaukee, he was supposedly a policeman that died of the coronavirus. And then over in Memphis, he was some kind of doctor or something. And it's the same guy. So this is a serious virus we have going on. Then I turned the TV on. And this is interesting. And I'll get to why I'm still here with this box I'm supposed to give to the leader of the second revolution that's coming. Okay? Slats has got an idea. That's my good buddy. On how to run this second revolution because it's got to be unique. We're not going to go out through, ride horses and get guns and everything because it's useless. They're killing us with microwave weaponry. But anyway, we got to figure out a way here. So he's working on it, and I'll get to that in a minute. But, I wake up, and these crisis actors are interesting. They use media people and actors, as people who got this sickness. Now, the sickness is really interesting. Remember when Tom Hanks got it? Remember of Angels and Demons? He did that movie. Of course, Tom Hanks is privy to all this stuff. He worked closely with the Vatican in that movie to kind of twist truth. They said that the Vatican is a good institution fighting the evil Illuminati. Well, in fact, the truth be known, the Vatican is the Illuminati, Tom. But it was a great little fiction story. You just twisted things around a little bit. Let's do the real story. They don't do that. It's too close to the truth. But anyway, so they get Tom Hanks, and his son Chet said he's not even sick. Well, Tom had a little sniffles maybe, and his wife got it in Australia while they were filming some movie there. I don't know what the heck it was. But anyway, then they pick a few other people, here and there, a basketball player here, football player, famous. Oh, if he gets it, look out. But all these things seem to be just like common colds. Then, of course, I picked my 10 seconds yesterday. Somebody sent me this. Okay. They're still allowing me on the internet. Chris Cuomo is the brother of the mayor of, the governor of New York. Isn't that interesting? He's one of their big, you don't think this is a state-run media? The only thing I listened to, he said, I still have this low-grade fever. He's supposedly in his basement with this low-grade fever that won't go away, and he's talking to Dr. Sanjay Gupta on CNN. Now, you know what? Here's my thought on this. I'm going to be an honest, nice guy. 5 years ago, I had a little fever that never went, a week or so. It was a little, it was 98.9, Okay. How many times you go out with 98.9? And he's got this low, they're using him as a crisis actor. I hate to say it, Chris, but even if you do have a low-grade fever, I had one 5 years ago, and I was able to go to work and go outside. And I suppose you're still getting paid, your millions of dollars a year to play this act that you have this dreaded disease, and you can't go anywhere. Oh, God. Hey, wait till this thing's over, and they start giving you, these phony tests. And then everybody for example, you'll walk outside and they say, before you go to work, we got to give you a test. And then they say, you have it. You can't go to work. Well, I don't have any symptoms. I feel great. I just ran 5 miles. Well, you're asymptomatic and you could give it to everybody. So see, what they're doing is creating this kind of thing. They can do anything. It is a medical fact, and you can check the doctors, everybody out there, that first, this thing is not able to be detected. They don't even know, maybe they created something. Maybe it's a flu strain like influenza B. I love to bring this up, because they are so hypocritical. I mean, people that believe this, you got a worse sickness than anything their coronavirus will ever give you, physically. Because mentally you're shot. If you believe these people. Because the facts out there just as quickly as they shut the world down, all this nonsense came to, there's so many people in this country. I'm looking around, and many people understand this. And they are just like going around going, what the heck? That's all they're doing. And I'm doing the same thing at times. I'm no different. But I just have a little bit more education on what they've done over the years. I started out a long time ago in Italy understanding this when they almost blew me up. And when I was working as an editor in the American newspaper. And you can go check that out. Just look up Bombing in Rome in 1982. Rome Daily News newspaper. You'll see UPI still has a story. And you'll see my name in there. So I started to wonder, what they were doing with terrorism back then. But the great thing now is nobody's outside. The terrorists, they're afraid to go out. Yeah. And the only people not afraid to go out are the cartels because they got a business to run. They're not shutting down. Can you imagine Pablo Escobar's top guy, well, let's go to El Chapo. He's still running things from an American jail. His top guy, he called him the other day, I heard, and they said, oh, El Chapo, I can't go out. Why? You got like 20 million pounds of cocaine to run, and we got $20 billion to make. Well, there's a stay-at-home order. The government's telling us to stay at home, and I'm afraid to catch a cold. 2 days later, he was found dead. 2 bullet holes to the head, and they called it a coronavirus death. Believe these people. I can't take it. Everybody's sitting here, I've got some serious stuff because I better tell you where I'm at and give you a little background here because this is getting really interesting. Oh, one last thing on Chris Cuomo. Look, Chris, if you do have a little flu, I wish you the best. I'll send you a little card, get well card to Chris Cuomo playing the act. I wonder who else is coming. Well, did they pick any political guys? Well, there was a couple senators. They all seem to recover. I don't see them in the death statistics. Wouldn't you like to get up one day and go, the whole American government was wiped out from their own virus. They all fell to their deaths as they were giving their White House task force speech. And somehow a bolt of lightning hit the White House and killed everybody. And they've all been listed as coronavirus deaths. Oh, yeah, they're looking. Well, that brings up a great religious idea here, And if you go back, I was very content before this to do a story. I used to love to try to figure out where these rulers of evil come from and went all the way back to the story of Cain and Abel. And it's quite interesting when you start thinking about it because most of them are still into that same gig that Cain was in. And, believe it or not, even though they're Satanists, they really understand the Bible because they understand the power of God. And That's what they have in common. And they have all of these kind of guys out there that have been inflicted with the Jesuit oath, like 33 Degree Mason, former, guess who? Billy Graham. Now his son's out there. He gave him Easter service. It was a beautiful service. Oh, yes, he was talking. I turned on my 10 seconds on Fox. America Together. They had a triage of white tents set up in the background. Nobody there. A couple guys with their goggles and their, with their wetsuits, hazmat suits, walking around with oxygen on their back. No patients. With a guy, a piano player or an organ player, like 20 feet away, and that was Easter. Well, what? And he's got to be a 33-degree Mason, just like his father. They were set up to really change the word of the Protestant revolt. Protestant means protest. How many protesters are out there right now in the Protestant Reformation? There's none. There's a few. I've met a lot of them, and they're just being tortured by the Jesuits. That's the way it is. It's a serious thing. But this one has taken the whole world down. This is the best one, because now no one is going anywhere. They got people sitting at home. I'm sitting in this hotel. They won't let me out. And I'll get to that in a minute. But last thing on crisis actors. I know all about them. They've asked me to be one. I'm thinking about it. There's going to be no jobs. I mean, this is what's going to happen. There's going to be no jobs. And everybody is going to go, sure, I'll be a crisis actor. What do you want me to say? Just go out there and say you got the coronavirus. And put a little water on your head. We got makeup. Don't worry, you'll look like hell. And just play the game. How much? Well, we'll talk money. Yeah, I'm hearing they're getting like $1,000 a day. Well, anyway, I heard that because you're probably wondering, how do they put this together? How can they be so good at this? Well, it's just like, ever go to a movie set and they have a room where they hand out all of the day, especially on sitcoms, your lines for the day, then you got to study them a little bit. And they have to prepare. So the directors, the producers are there, and they read the script written this time by the writers at the Georgetown University, right next to the White House. Then they go in this little tunnel, and there's a meeting room there. And we've been bugging that meeting room for some time. That's why I'm getting all this information. But I got nowhere to publish it. So I have to tell you on my show why they still let me do it. And by the way, I did get approval from the COVID virus police, who are affiliated with the CIA, who are affiliated with the Jesuits. And I call them, just to make things simple, the Vatican Jesuit-led New World Order. So they're letting me do this because I think, and they sent me a letter. I'll get to that in the second half hour. But I think they're doing it because it's kind of the last hurrah, our last chance to get it out on the table before they kill us. And that's what they did with the economy, you see. They gave Americans this false hope, and they built it so high. Remember Trump? Oh, I'm going to make America great. And they showed you what it could be. They really dangled out that. And people are like going, how could it end so quickly? My friends, you got to do some research on who's behind this stuff. It isn't these stupid politicians. They're only actors. I can prove it. We're down there. I got bugs on that tunnel. I've been watching them, listening them for months do this show. I've listened to their shows before on Ebola, on swine flu. 9/11 was a big show. I mean, they've done a lot of these in our time. Going back in the past, they used to have to use theater. And that's an interesting story. But anyway, so down in that tunnel, right yesterday, for example, they said, they were saying, we need another Chris Cuomo. We need somebody. How about Fox News? Any takers? Who wants to play the next COVID patient? And Hannity stood up and said, I can't do it. I've got to go out. Yeah, I've got to be, well, you can't go to the gym anymore and do your taekwondo or anything, or judo. Sean, you're going to have to stay at home. I can't. Every day I work out for 3 hours. I used to be I worked in construction. I can't do it. So they picked on, then they said, Tucker Carlson. And he said, no, I can't do it. I'm too busy. They couldn't find anybody. So what are they going to do? So they said, well, how about America One Network? Well, nobody listens to that one yet. So they're still looking for another crisis actor to come down with the COVID virus, and they're looking for a couple more politicians to do it. I don't mean to sound insensitive to their health, but 99% of the people, even according to their statistics, are okay. So what are we going to do? Every time everybody gets a cold, we're going to count them. There's coronavirus, yes. Anytime anybody sneezes, the other day, I'm going out, I'm in my car, I'm going to a restaurant. This is before they put me in this hotel. And I sneezed, and I go, God, thank God I'm not in that restaurant. Not because I care, but I'm thinking of people. They're all going to say, oh, keep him out. If you sneeze like you used to before the COVID virus, you'll never eat again. There's no restaurant in the world that's going to serve you, And it's great because, there's a little, I get off on these tangents, but if you've been sitting in a hotel room by the COVID virus police who abducted me with a mask, I went through the whole story. Go to my website at greganthonysjournal.wordpress.com. I documented it. And I figured I'd write another story, but I can't because I'm here kind of in Groundhog Day. They've got me waiting. I'm supposed to go see Slatch Grobnik, the general of the new Second American Revolution, with this box and message from the COVID virus police. They call themselves CVP they got on this. But anyway, so this idea that, everybody has it is ingenious, really. I mean, I have to credit them, and they're like down there, and they were like before yesterday's. I call it it's their script meeting to get the actors up there. They did get one. They fired somebody who hired that guy who died twice. They said, you can't do this, man. It's too obvious. And then they said, clean up the pic. Can you guys at CNN and Fox find some new stuff? I mean, you're running the same pictures. And they're a little worried with the citizen journalists out there uncovering every time that the mainstream says this hospital is full. One of the great journalists who should get a Pulitzer goes to the hospital and finds it empty. Now, how can they get around that? Well, they just don't. First of all, they never change their story. And second of all, they just start discrediting everything. I mean, you can't go anywhere on the internet now and not see, like, there's these conspiracy stories about this not being true, or that 5G is related to this in some way. Oh boy, we got to stop that. They're saying these guys are crazy. They're going to kill people. My God, man. How many people are you going to kill with your supposed stay-at-home orders and shutting down economies? I mean, are you crazy? There was a guy from a big, huge corporation. I got the letter. He did a computer analysis of and this is huge. He sent it to Trump and all the other boys over there. And he said, if you keep this economy closed down past May, you got worse than the Great Depression. We aren't going to recover for years. And then somebody said, well, don't worry, we're going to be back to work in May. Then they come out with a government report, which we have, that was leaked to the New York Times. When they say leaked to the New York Times, say, come here, Mr. Times reporter, you've got to get this out there to let the people know really what's going on. They say 18 months on this one, with a new strain all the time. Because now they're saying, oh, there's a new strain in China. Yeah, I'm going to give them a new strain right where it hurts, But anyway, back in 3 minutes from this Kansas hotel room, I'll get to the specifics of how they abducted me. Yes, I'm still alive. Back in 3 minutes on the Investigatore Giornale.
The book of Revelation says, the spirit of prophecy is the testimony of Jesus Christ. This is at the very heart of FirstAmendmentRadio.com. In that spirit, we have created the Prophecy Reality News app for all of your mobile devices, streaming First Amendment radio 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Available for your Apple, Android device, and smartphone, absolutely free. Get the Prophecy Reality News app installed today so you can listen to First Amendment radio wherever you are. The Prophecy Reality News app. Get it now.
Visit crosstheborder.org, CROSS, crosstheborder.org, to get your print, EPUB, or PDF version of Nicholas Arthur's new book titled When the Third Temple is Built. That's crosstheborder.org. When it comes to prophecy today, much of the evangelical Christian world has their eyes on Israel, waiting and watching to see when the third temple will begin to be built. The plans are drawn, the Jewish people are eager. Most evangelical Christians today believe that the rapture will happen before the third temple is built. Hi, I'm Michael Eugene. I was taught that Daniel's 70th week was in the future. Is that really what the Bible teaches? Have we searched the scriptures and found this to be true? Why is it so important for a re-established Israel to build a third temple in Jerusalem? Is it necessary to build a temple on the same location already occupied by the Dome of the Rock? Is it necessary for sacrifices to take place in the temple on Temple Mount? Is there really a rapture followed by 7 years of tribulation? What is the New Testament temple? Can we identify history and prophecy? Who is the first beast in Revelation chapter 13? Who are the 7 kings in Revelation 17? I have asked all these questions, and I have found Nicholas Arthur's new book, When the Third Temple is Built, answers all these questions and more using Scripture to interpret Scripture. The Bible says that no prophecy of Scripture is of any private interpretation. Nicholas shows us in his new book, When the Third Temple is Built, how the Bible interprets prophecy and not man's private interpretation. Visit crosstheborder.org, CROSS, crosstheborder.org, to get your print, EPUB, or PDF version of Nicholas Arthur's new book titled When the Third Temple is Built. That's crosstheborder.org.
The following program is labeled dangerous and off limits by the supreme Jesuit command. But stand tall, people. Listen up, and you may just learn something.
Oh, dear Lord Jesus, this ain't happening, man. This can't be happening, man. This ain't happening.
Okay, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, second half hour. People of all races, colors, and creeds, and if you're asymptomatic with the coronavirus, I've been saying it 155 million times in the 3 months that we've been talking about this. But anyway, you can listen to the Greg Anthony Show here on First Amendment every day, Monday through Friday at noon. And then just go to firstamendmentradio.net, and you can listen to me Friday night. It's a national show on crntalk.com. You'll enjoy it. I wrap up everything from the week, and boy, I'll tell you, I could sit here and talk till the cows come home, but the cows aren't needed anymore because we're throwing away their milk. You believe that? You got an epidemic. These people are really great, aren't they? And they're telling farmers, don't pick up your crops and get rid of all the milk. That makes a lot of sense. Well, anyway, nothing makes sense in this world, I'll tell you. And people say, Greg, they come to my show. I really know why. They come because they want to laugh for at least 5 minutes out of the day. I mean, you can't go to your local comedy club. I can't go. I've been asked to go back. You know, I used to do comedy, and you'll probably say, how did you become a comedian? You know. You're not that funny. I've heard that somewhere. You're not funny. People that know me, you're not funny. Well, people don't know me when I was young, you see. And see, my last name has I have a Polish surname. So the reason I got into comedy was I'd go to school, and the teacher would, they'd read the roll, and they'd read my name, and everybody'd laugh. And then I'd walk around, and people would look at me and just start laughing. Oh, you hear this one about the light bulb, the Polish guy and the light bulbs? I mean, it was constant jokes around me. I didn't even open my mouth up. And I said, boy, I got a natural talent for this. So I strayed off into comedy, and Little, little do you know, I changed my name to Anthony. That's my middle name, so I really didn't change it. I just used the middle name because, I want to be fair to all the comedians out there and all you people who are writing me that want to give me your jokes too. But it's not fair if I give you my real name because you know what? People just laugh. I said, listen, I got to be fair with these comics. I'm not going to go out with the Polish routine. It's too easy. I've got to work, got to think. What can I say to make these idiots laugh? And that's an interesting thing because we're talking about death every day. What is it now? 20,000? And they got people dying twice, people getting hit with pigs that die from coronavirus. You believe this? They love to tell you how many died. Well, how come they didn't do this before with the influenza B? I've looked up this statistic and it doesn't make sense to me. From October 2019 through February of this year, the CDC, before this one kicked off with their reality show of the coronavirus, they said 12 to 30,000 people died from influenza B. That's a lot, okay? More than what they're saying now. Maybe they're including those. Who knows? But they couldn't be specific, could they? No, they're saying 12,000 to 30. That's their numbers. And I'm saying, how can you know to the T who's dying here so quickly? I mean, what are you guys? Miracle? Yeah. Just like, they created the Mother Mary apparitions, Medjugorje, Fatima. They love goofing with you. And they love creating Nassau and this idea of the universe. I'm not even going to get into that. I mean, how can you talk to people about the land you live on, whether it is round or pear-shaped like they tell us? I mean, they tell us everything flat. I mean, who's going to care now? Because everybody wants to get out of this world. So I'm looking for escape routes. I don't know about you. I thought South Dakota was okay. I used to have a restaurant there, a little pizzeria. Imagine now. Oh, my God. But anyway, I don't know. Can you think of another world to go to? Could there be one? And everybody's going, can we go back in time? I just watched a movie called Outlander, and she goes back to the 17th century. I'm going to go to the stones in Scotland and then touch that stone and go back in time. And then it's going to give me a few hundred years to know what's coming. Okay, that's a possibility. You could prescribe to the Hindu-Buddhist thought of reincarnation, and you could get on my TV show, which I'm going to start, called the Suicide Channel, because there'll be a lot of those coming up, and I think we can compete with the White House Task Force and Director Luigi Franconi, the Jesuit priest, and his new COVID reality show. I think we can compete with it, because there are going to be a lot of people who are going to start killing themselves sitting at home. Like you wake up one day and go, I can't take it anymore. Boom, And we don't report those anymore. No more. They don't care about suicides. They don't care about the homeless. We haven't heard a word about anything. ISIS has gone into hibernation. They're living, the ISIS commander and the Afghani commanders who are fighting us or something are saying, don't go outside, boys. You may catch the COVID virus, okay? There's been nothing. The American military has been put on hold. We spend all that money with Trump, billions of dollars, and what are we going to use it for? Well, some guys said they saw a 10-minute caravan the other day of tanks coming into L.A. Whoa, what's that for? Then the mainstream said, that's normal. We have those all the time. Oh, really? I've never seen one. I lived there for 15 years. I saw every train. That's a little train going through. When do people run on trains anyway anymore? No. There are no trains going. If you want to take a train, listen. I wanted to take a train to see America. You can't go. I want to take a plane. You can't go. But if you're rich, you can go. You just call up your friend and say, meet me at our private airport, and we'll go. And I bet you the police who are, we have these neighborhood organizations now going around telling people not to play golf arresting people. We got $1,000 fines for people going out of their homes if they're not going for essential items. What is an essential item? Is going to your local drug dealer, to get heroin like these rich Hollywood guys are probably doing now, and these rich corporate guys who got nothing to do but count their money after they got out of the stock market before this thing hit? They knew it was coming. So is that essential? That's what I recommend. Next time you get pulled over and the cop says, especially in states that do it, there are states doing this. L.A. too. You're supposed to, if you go outside without your mask, it's $1,000 fine. But they told you in the beginning they don't count, they don't work. But now they changed their mind. They said, well, maybe we can make some money on this. But just tell them I'm going out for essential item, officer. I'm going to get, my meth, my crystal meth. I'm going to use some terms like glass. I'm going to get glass. Oh, yeah, sure, go. The drug dealer's over there. He's on 9th and Figueroa between 9 and 10. We allow him out for an hour. Apparently that's okay. They're still pushing drugs. Haven't heard anybody, going into shop. Well, look they got to push the drugs. I mean, if you die of heroin now, it's COVID virus. You'll be, you're not going to be humiliated, but you'll be humiliated in a different way. Don't tell. We can't let people know the senator was a heroin addict. Just say he died from the COVID virus. Okay, fine. Well, listen, words sometimes, we should do a whole show on words because there's so many you can use, you can't use anymore. And I'm talking about with the COVID virus police. They don't want you to say 5G is a weapon that's used in the military. That's what this is all. When you go to my website at greganthonysjournal.wordpress.com, and I got a great video up there about 5G. It'll kill you. It's an apocalyptic extinction device that they're putting up all over the world. But if you say that, you're going to be arrested. Okay. And if you say anything bad about the coronavirus, you're not a patriot. Oh, no. You are a traitor. You hate God. They love God. They are if I turn on, I don't know about you, but I used to enjoy watching Fox News a little bit more than CNN because I really kind of liked that little segment of America they played for the last couple of years about getting America great. I thought, I'd dream. I'd say, just like when you watch a really good movie and you want to be like Michael Corleone or something for a while. That's the way I felt. So I could put up with it. Their little banter, chit-chatting with CNN. I hate you, you hate me, but oh, how happy we will be. Kind of Hegelian dialectic stories. I liked it, but now I can't take it. They're not fighting. They both agree. Oh, they're fighting over little things like Trump did this guy did that. But they both agree this is a huge pandemic and we're all going to die. But they're going to live. Live high off the hog. Ask any one of those journalists if their salary's being cut. Ask any one of the politicians whether they're losing a dime on this. But wait for your $1,200 check. Not enough, folks. If you're playing an extra in this movie, let me tell you something. Hollywood pays $100 a day. And how long we've been in this? How long you been alive? If you've been alive 40 years, they owe you a lot of money. But you'll never get it. So, anyway, that's my take on words. Because they don't want you saying anything. Now, you've been locked up in your house for a long time, but you know what that is. It's just a cover for all your stuff that you collect over your lifetime, right? Now, in Michigan, they don't want you to improve on that. The governor put out an order that they don't want anybody doing home improvements during this time. And then the guy from Home Depot called him and said, what are you talking about? You're going to... Well, the Jesuits gave us our commando. Our commando here said, we got to make it miserable for them at home. And then they said, well, you want to make it miserable? Shut the internet off. Then they'll come to Home Depot. She said, not a bad idea. I'll take it up with Mr. Franconi. I've got personal... In fact, I'm going over tomorrow for a briefing. A day they're looking for some new crisis actors in Michigan, so I got to be there. So I'll bring it up with him. Now, is that possible they'd shut it down for a while? Yeah. They're shutting it down in other countries, in Myanmar. Now, why is that Myanmar now? It used to be Burma, right? I like Burma, so let's call it Burma. See, words. They're shutting it down there. They're shutting it down in India and certain places. So why are they leaving it here? Well, they're giving you something to do while you're home, because the kids are going, that were born early, are going, hey, this is fantastic. We're not being told to go out and play. You know, this is great. Man, I hope this goes on forever. You know, because they don't want to go out and play. How many times you talk to your kid and you go, get out there and play some baseball. Well, I'm playing a game right here on the internet. They're at home. And all you yuppies, little social thing, all you yuppies, all you turncoat baby boomers who used to go out and do things. Now you're happy, right? Sitting by your computer playing with your iPhone. In fact, I've been in this hotel. I better get to it. I only got 12 minutes. And my internet went out, so I had to do the Wi-Fi thing. And I went to the desk, and the guy acted like I had leprosy or something. You know, stay away. I need the Wi-Fi. Okay, I'll yell it out. You just stay outside. Okay, he yelled out the Wi-Fi code, and I'm okay. But let's recap things here. Just so you know what's happening, really, the important things in the world are, for years, I met this guy a long time ago named Slats Grobnik. This was in Chicago. During my days, I used to hang out at Sam's Tavern. Great Italian sausages. And we'd sit there, perfect sauce. Let me tell you something. I can still taste it. I met Slats, and he'd been a freedom fighter for years. And he told me about him being a Protestant. He worked for the Protestant Reformation in Italy, not during the 1500s, but just recently. He was really an undercover agent trying to get information from the Vatican. He spent years there. Then he came back to Chicago, fought with the Daley administration. You know, remember Mayor Daley? You know, ooh, that was fun. And then, Slats over the years, I've known him for a long time, has been trying to get America to wake up. Let's get rid of these people. And if we had listened to Slats 30 years ago, we wouldn't be in this position, but nobody did. But he didn't give up. He kept in touch with me, and you can go through my articles over the years. And then all of a sudden, a number of years ago, I called him. He was in a state of flux. They've been trying to kill him for a long time, and he had nothing. He was living in a cave. And I said, Slats, get out of the cave. Everything they do is in caves. They're Satanists. Mother Mary's always in a cave. The Pope goes to pray in a cave. I mean, you know what they're all about. You were there when they were doing their satanic worshiping in the bowels of the Vatican. You know the whole story. You gotta try to get out there. He was depressed, so he leaned on me for a while, and I got him going again. And he called me one day and said, "Oh boy, I got the greatest idea. I'm going to build a replica Roman Colosseum in a Kansas cornfield." I met a farmer, and to make a long story short, don't you hate that? If I hear one person say that again, I'm going to really go crazy, kill them, and then they'll say it's the COVID virus. But anyway, to make a long story short, boom, kill myself. Oh, I had this idea. No, you can't do the suicide TV channel if you kill yourself, Greg. You'll get a number of people wanting to get on the show. Don't worry about it. And we've got to compete with that COVID virus reality show. But anyway, so he did. Over the years, I documented it. I said, how do you do this without them knowing? He said, we got ways. And he said, you're sounding like them, Slats. Well, anyway, he got together with a whole bunch of freedom-fighting farmers, and they built this thing that made it look, you couldn't see it. It was really a great piece of work. It was kind of like a place they said they were fixing their tractors or something, all covered, and it was very good. But he finally finished it, right? Wanting to get 100,000 people in there at $10 a head. And the idea was ingenious. He said, we will win this war against these people. And then we're going to turn them into gladiators. And we're going to come and fill the stands with patriots that want to watch these guys fight to the death, like Bush against Trump. I mean, Bush is still alive, right? The young one. And since they really are all for unisex, we won't care. We'll let the girls fight the boys fight the girls. It'll be a beautiful sight. I said, Slats, do me one favor. Do not use animals. He said, no. They are too good for these people. Okay, so I was on board with him. So it's a great idea, but guess what? He finishes it finally, and the COVID virus hits. Oh, he's mad. And I wrote a couple stories about it. I wrote the story about it. He told me everything. Go to my website, greganthonysjournal.wordpress.com. How many times do I have to say it? And you'll read about the Second American Revolution and Slats Grobnik. So then I write the story, and the next day, I get accosted by 3 very, very big gentlemen with tattoos. And I looked at the tattoo, and I think it was from the Columbia Cartel. I don't know. Looked like that. It was just briefly before they put the hood over my head. Took me away, and they put me in an interrogation room. You can get that story. They allowed me to write it yesterday. And they interrogated me about my relationship with Slats Grobnik. And I said, yes, I admitted it. They said, fine, we have a box for you to take. It's a locked box. You can't open it. We will call you with the combination. You take it to him at that replica Coliseum. I said, okay. So they flew me in one of their cartel jets, jointly owned by the CIA, the Colombian, the Mexican cartel. The Jesuits fly in it sometimes. So it's one of those really nice things. They were nice to me. They gave me a nice meal, offered me some marijuana, which I didn't take because I wanted to be bright and bushy-tailed the next day to write the story. And they put me in a hotel, and they said, Greg, wait till they want me to speak with the head of the whoever they are. I'm saying it's the COVID virus police because I asked them, I said, can I write my stories or can I do my radio shows? This was yesterday, until I speak with him. He said, sure, go ahead, say what you want. We don't care. You've been talking about this for 20 years. You think we're going to stop you now? And I said, well, does that mean forever? Ha ha. You'll find out when Mr. Grobnik reads that in what we've told him inside that box. And I'm thinking, man, they could have killed me right there in that warehouse. They didn't. They sat me down with champagne in the warehouse and could have poisoned me. They didn't. Now I'm in this hotel waiting for the police. And I was trying to talk. They have a guy outside the door. And so I try to talk to him. He won't come in fear of getting the COVID virus. And I kind of got some words out of him. I think what they're going to do is they're using me to show you how dangerous it is to speak against the government story, how you'll be isolated, put in hotels. And really, I don't know my fate. I assume they're going to let me go put the box with give the box to Slats Grobnik. From there, I don't know what they have planned for me. But I know what their plan is here. They're letting me, in fact, today they're letting me speak. And I asked, well, where is this head man? And they told me he has been delayed. And I said, is he sick? And they said, very funny. Yeah, he's got the COVID virus. And I said, where is he? He said, well, you're not the only one he's speaking with. So he's making the rounds with other people. There's a lot of people like me out there talking like this. I said, well, there's a lot of people. I said that. There's a lot of people like me. And they said, yes. I said, well, am I going to be here a long time? He said, you just, sit tight. I love that, sit tight. And they shoved the meal under my door, okay? They got a little place to give me my meal because they don't want to catch the COVID virus. And I said, I don't have it. They said, while you were sleeping, oh no, we gave you the COVID virus test. This is the news I wanted to tell you. And they said, you have it. I said, I'm not sick. They said, it doesn't matter. You're asymptomatic. You got it. You can't go anywhere. Oh, no. Now they got me. I said, where did you document that? I didn't give you permission. That doesn't matter. You're not going to need permission. You're going to be forcibly vaccinated. You're going to be told you have it. You're going to never be able to go anywhere unless you have that. And I said, well, if I'm asymptomatic, when does that end? Oh, never. Oh, my goodness. So they got me. I'll never get out. But maybe I can pull some strings with somebody. Maybe I know somebody in government. They can change it. Anyway, there'll be a black market of all documents. We got to make sure that happens so that we can get out of the country like they do. CIA, they got one of their agents I know personally has 10 different passports. I said, how do you do that? It's for a good cause. Yeah. But anyway, so here I am. They got me here waiting for the general, whoever he is, and he's out talking to other people. And really their motive here is to, one, stop Slats-Grobnik, because he's got an ingenious idea, I just know him, of this Second American Revolution. And they don't want this to go on. It's growing across the country. I mean, I have had time here to look. Haven't even gotten into the serious stuff that I wanted to tell you today, but come back tomorrow. I'm sure I'll be here. And they sent me a little note. The letter from the general, they I guess they send it to everybody. It just had a CC on it, and I'm like third on the list. Who's 1 and 2? I thought I was the best of them all. Get my mirror out like Matthew McConaughey, or McConaughey. Don't you feel sorry for these actors? They're at home befronted of their mirrors. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Please laugh. Please smile. Please tell me I'm beautiful. Anyway, I'll get to the letter they sent me, and hopefully maybe I'll be out of here tomorrow, but you'll have to come back to listen as the COVID virus police have cracked down on anybody now. You're considered a disloyal patriot. You're considered not close to God if you don't follow the government story. Sounds familiar. I've heard this story somewhere before. Please somebody email me and tell me where we've heard this before. By the way, Greg Anthony here. I have to go. These guys are knocking at my door. Hopefully I can get to see Slats in his replica Coliseum. Back tomorrow on the Investigatore Giornale. Don't watch CNN or Fox. See you tomorrow.
The book of Revelation says, the spirit of prophecy is the testimony of Jesus Christ. This is at the very heart of FirstAmendmentRadio.com. In that spirit, we have created the Prophecy Reality News app for all of your mobile devices, streaming First Amendment Radio 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Available for your Apple, Android device, and smartphone, absolutely free. Get the Prophecy Reality News app installed today so you can listen to First Amendment Radio wherever you are. The Prophecy.
Since the beginning of time, kings have sought it, nations have fought for it. It has been traded, it has been borrowed, it has been purchased, it has been stolen. There's a reason for it. To secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and to our posterity. Invest with the security of gold and silver. Call Discount Gold and Silver Trading at 1-800-375-4188 or visit discountgoldandsilvertrading.net. Listen to Financial Survival with your host Melody Cedarstrom right here on FirstAmendmentRadio.com at 4 p.m. Eastern or 1 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit discountgoldandsilvertrading.net or call Discount Gold and Silver Trading at 1-800-375-4188. Toll free 1-800-375-4188.